Shalom to all my brothers and sisters worldwide. Forgive me for reposting this this video. I wanted to repost this because of some sound issues I had with the last video. I wanted to make sure that the sound quality was a little bit better. I hope it is. Today I wanted to discuss demons, ghosts, spirits. I know that I made a video earlier. I just want to make sure this one's clear and the sound is good so that you can really understand the words that I'm saying. So in Judaism, most of the subscribers on here understand the Hebrew Bible and the concept of Satan and spirits, but there's another side where many people who are learning will ask the question, well, I know we don't believe in the dark side and the good side, two counter teams that are against each other. We know that God is the ruler over all things. God says in Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7, I create the light and create the darkness. I make peace and create evil. I do all these things. There is no other force but me. So the question is, I'm going to say it very briefly. How do we deal with, there is a reality out there that people all over the world, throughout the centuries, throughout generations of life, have always spoken about evil spirits, evil encounters with spirits. We hear all over the world today many people with similar stories about demon possession. We hear about people who have their houses being haunted, hearing things, noises, that they're being frightened, scared. Pictures are being turned around, all these things. So we as Jews cannot turn a blind eye ever and say it's all nonsense. It's not all nonsense. People do have these experiences, and even people that are close to us can even say that they had experiences. I have people that I know personally who said they had these experiences, and they're very, very frightened by them, and they're very serious, and they're not insane. These are very intelligent people. One of them in particular, one of my dear closest friends, he went to a university, he got a master's degree. I mean, these are not kooks. These are real people all over the world who are all having the same consistent stories about disturbances, wickedness, frightening experiences. So we as Jews cannot turn a blind eye to the fact on the ground that all over the world people are talking about basically the same thing. There is some sort of wickedness going on. How do we explain that in Judaism? Based on Tanakh and based on our open conclusions based on the Hebrew Scriptures, that there is no evil force against God, that God is in control of all things. So I'm going to simplify this very simple. We know that the Tanakh says over and over that God is in control of all things. Satan does not run anything. He obeys the commands of God. He is there to tempt us in our daily lives, to make us grow spiritually. So too the angels do the bidding of Elohim. So therefore, the simplest way I could explain demons and these encounters, if you say, okay, you know what? Fine. You guys don't believe that Satan has his own team. How do you explain these encounters and all these things that are happening around the world? How do you explain it? These people are having experiences. Why is it negative? Why is it fearful? If there are angels, and you say that these are angels, how do you explain that they're doing things to scare people and do things? The simple answer is this, is that God says in the Torah many times, don't deal with witchcraft, don't deal with sorcery, don't deal with anything to do with the spiritual realm, talking to the dead, on and on and on. So what is the answer? The answer is, whether you are religious or not, whether you follow the Torah or not, you know what you're doing when you're getting involved with spiritism or anything to do with the mystic world when it comes to magic or spells. You are hoping to experience something supernatural, even if you don't believe in God. People say, I don't believe in God or spirits, but yet they go to get the experience of something supernatural, even though they claim they don't believe in spirits. So how do we explain these negative results from doing these things? How can negativity and scare tactics come from an Elohim, the creator of all things? Well, for one, our Elohim is mistaken. The creator of all things, we cannot think of him as just good all the time. Elohim, we were made in his image. Understand this. He gets angry. You see it all over Tanakh. He gets angry, he gets upset, he gets annoyed, he's happy, sometimes he's sad, he's brokenhearted. He has every single element. He has a sense of humor. Everything that we have, he gave us the senses that he has. We resonate with our Elohim because he's all things. So therefore, he's got all sides. He says, I make the good and the evil. That doesn't make him evil. So, let me get to the point. Why do evil things happen, or wicked or bad situations happen because of spiritism? The answer is this. God is basically showing you that this is bad. Whether you're religious or not, you're going to have a bad experience. If you mess with the Ouija board, something's bad's going to happen. If you try to talk to the dead, something's going to happen. It's not going to be positive. If God is in control of all things, do you really believe that he's going to make the experience wonderful and say, okay, now that they've done that, you know what, angels? I want you to go show them a great time. Show them how wonderful this is. Wrong. If what the Jews believe based on Tanakh is correct, then of course it would be a negative reaction, regardless of the source. If he says this is wicked, this is bad, then the results of doing these things are going to end up bad. You're going to get scared. He's going to tell them, go ahead and scare them. Scare them. I want them to know this is not good. This is not okay. Whether they follow my Torah or not. I don't want them to feel like this is wonderful. I want them to realize that this is not natural. This is not something that I want them to do. So therefore, that's why people get scared and suffer and these things, to make us wake up that something's not right about this. This is not okay. This is not from God. And possibly come to Elohim because of this. Come to God because of this. And there are many people that do that. They get into spiritism, their life gets ruined, and then they turn to God. Because they don't like this life. It was all hunky-dory and wonderful and magical until results started happening in their lives. And it was not positive. It's always a negative reaction. So therefore, point blank, God is going to punish you. You get involved with spiritism of any kind, sorcery, magic, whatever the case, read your palms, tell your future, God will punish you for those things. He's not a bad guy, but he means what he says. And if you say, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in spirits, fine. Then don't mess with the supernatural world, which you don't believe in, because God is going to show you that it is real. Do you understand? So therefore, it's not a problem that people have these experiences. In fact, it proves the point of the Tanakh. God says don't do these things. And so if you do these things, there's going to be results and it's going to be negative. That doesn't make the angels bad guys. They're trying to scare you into getting out of this. And there is a way out. Get rid of that part of your life. Separate yourself from everything in that realm and get close to Elohim through his Torah. I hope that this was a good explanation to you to understand that yes, God does allow his angels to give you a negative reaction to doing what God does not approve of us doing, which is all those things to do with the magical, sorcery, spiritual, wickedness, demonic realms where he forbids us to follow. So therefore, it absolutely harmonizes with Tanakh if you really think rationally. And that's the point. Rational thinking, rational understanding. Sometimes we might not understand Elohim, and passages might confuse us and make us wonder, why would he do this? But if we think rationally and think, what would you do if you were Elohim and you wanted to warn people to stay away from this thing? Would you reward them for getting involved in something that you are against and told people not to do? No. You would say you would want to scare them to get them out of it or make them realize that this is not good. You want to tell the future? You want to violate the natural to go to the supernatural? You're going to pay. So that's my clearest answer to understand. I hope that this was clear. Shalom, and thank you so much for being patient with me. I wanted to reload this video because the last one, the sound was not good. So, I hope this was helpful on demons, ghosts, spirits, wicked spirits. It's Elohim's way of telling you you've got to change your life. Get away from the spiritism, get away from magic, get away from sorcery, get away from witchcraft, all of it. Get out of it. Elohim is not okay with this. And if you decide to go down that route, there are consequences. And it's not fun. It's scary. So that's your answer. Shalom. Have a wonderful night, a blessed evening, and I'll see you soon.